Hey guys, can you hear me? Yeah, good morning. Guys, we're discussing Spring Boot application, right? Yeah, so coming to Spring Boot application. So last class what we completed, just you can check it once. Spring Boot MVC project we are discussing. Right click on the project, click on the start. So if we click on the start, what we done, project is starting. The project loading, remind me later. After that, guys, if you're watching this is the first video, can please go to the last one, because this is the project, right? We discussed almost 5-6 classes about this. Code operations are done. Open this one here. Just let me go for the books slash. We can write the book slash view books. If you write the view books here, we got this information. So click here to add the book object here. Once if we click here to add the book object 1007, book name is something like core Java, book other is RATAN. Just click on the save book. Data saved successfully. We got this message, right? Yeah. If you want, you can delete this book, guys. Delete is working fine. Data deleted successfully. If you click on the edit, so edit Spring. So just you can edit. Guys, while editing here, the ID is not coming. So Spring core model something like this. Just Mr. Ratan. Click on edit. Edit successfully. It means data is added, data edited, data deleted, data updated. Right? Everything is done. Because today class, what I am going to do, exception handling. Coming to the exception handling, see, for example, here 1001 already book is present, right? Because 1001 book is already present. Because I am going to insert the new book, which is like 1001. 1001, I am writing like ABC here. I am writing ABC here. So I click on the save. Then what happened here? It should be like more than some characters. 1001 already there. ABC. You can write the A B C D E F, A B C D E F, something like this, right? Yeah. Click on what save book. See guys, with that book ID already book is present, right? But it is inserting the data or not? Exactly. You want to insert this data, or you want to raise the exception? You want to raise the exception like duplicate book exception, right? Guys, you have to raise the exception. What exception you want to raise? A duplicate book exception, right? Exactly. Because that's what, while saving the data, while saving the data, can please check that with that ID any book is present or not. That's what, guys. Go to the data. When you click on the save, the data comes to the controller layer. When we click on the save, data comes to what? Controller layer, right? In the controller layer, post mapping is there, no? Yeah. The controller, we got the save book, no? Save book, which is validated, everything is done. We are giving the data to the service layer. In the service layer, save book is there, no? Save book data. Okay, here I need to check the data. What I need to check, tell me here. I need to check that with that book ISBN number, any book is present or not. Because how can you check with the ISBN? This is a save book data. While saving only we are checking now. That's what. Guys, can please write the books slash books dash which object, guys, here? Stream book dot stream dot. We can write the filter. What do you want to filter here? Be nothing but existing book. Existing book dot get ISBN, which is dot equals of book dot get ISBN. Guys, book dot get ISBN means the data now you given. This b dot get ISBN means existing book objects. Okay, if anything is matched, we can write the find first dot, we can write the get method. Now you got the book object. It means what? Existing book, right? Guys, we got what? Existing book or not? Yeah, existing book, guys. Existing book, right? It means existing book is there actually, if it is matched. Guys, you got the point, huh? So what I'm trying to do, I got the book object with that book dot get ISBN number. Now this is the book, right? Book dot get ISBN number, which is equivalent to the b dot ISBN. B dot means what? Existing books, right? Any book is there, book is present. Okay, book is what? Present. Guys, what we should do, if the book is present, yes, book is what? Present, right? Nothing but what we can write the code. Tell me if existing book not equal to null. Existing book is what? Not equal to null. If existing book not equal to null, what we should do? Tell me here. Guys, you got the point, right? Otherwise you do one thing, find first up to this one, you can write the code. application point of view, most will write the code like this. Find first means you'll get the optional book actually. If the book is there, you will get that book. So that's what find first, then optional, we get the optional guys. Then here existing book dot is present method is there. Is present. If it is present, what you should do, tell me? We should throw the exception, right? Guys, if it is present means you should throw the exception. If it is not present, then we need to add the book, right? Guys, if it is not present, books dot what, books dot add of what, add of what, add of what we can say, tell me, add of what, existing book is present, throw the exception. If it is not present, then we can add this book into the books, right? Guys, yes or no? You get the point? Yeah, that is the information, guys. Guys, are you clear what I am saying? Tell me, guys, what we are saying here. Return what? This is called existing book is there, na? Existing book dot is present. If it is present, throw the exception. Otherwise, if it is not present, add the book. That's it, guys. Don't write else condition also, because previously I think we written the boolean value. Books dot add of return the book dot add, right? That's what. So if it is matched, existing book dot is present, throw the exception. So what exception we have to throw, sir? Guys, we should throw the exception like, guys, real time is the project will be like this. We should go for the patience is important. Guys, let me create the exception now. Right click, new, let me create the class. I think you got this point, right? First, let me explain this point one more time. To the save book method, you got this book object. What I'm doing that, book.get ISBN to this your ISBN number. I'm checking that b.get ISBN, existing books. If any book is there, find first. It is optional type. Existing book is there, is present. If it is present, matched. If it is not matched means what happened here? It is not present, right? Not present means what? Return statement execute automatically. Guys, return statement execute what? Automatically, right? That's the point. If it is present only, this code executed. If it is not present, remaining code executed normally, right? Yeah, if it is present, existing book already present, then throw the exception. To throw the exception, first of all, you please create one exception, right? Right click, new, let me create the class. Guys, so tell me, let me write the duplicate book exception. Duplicate book exception, right? Duplicate book exception I'm going to create. Guys, package is com.boot.project.exceptions, right? Like you need to create the multiple exceptions up to you. Click on the finish. See guys, this is a duplicate book exception, right? Yeah. Guys, I want to raise the exception with the message. With message means we should write the constructor. Okay, that's what I'm writing the constructor here. What the constructor me here? Duplicate book exception constructor, right? Yeah, constructor is expecting the argument string message of the message, right? Exactly. Guys, we should give this message to the super class. That's what super of what message we have to write. Guys, to make your class is a normal Java class, is exception class. We should extend the class like exception class we have to extend. Guys, to make your normal Java class is exception class, we should extend what? Exception, right? Exactly. So it means go for the service layer. Here I want to throw the exception. To throw the exception, simply what we use, tell me, throw duplicate book exception, right? Guys, throw what? Duplicate book exception, right? Exactly. This is a duplicate book exception with the message, right? With message, RATAN SIR, book high client or whatever it may be, right? Book already present, right? Book already present, check once. Book is already present, check once. Duplicate book exception. Why it's showing issue? Yeah, because we are creating checked exception, guys. Extends exception class means it is checked exception. You should throw this exception, right? Insert throw new. We are creating object, right? Throw that object, guys. And just to place the cursor, add throws declaration. We are throwing that exception, right? Once you are throwing the exception to the controller also used like throws declaration. Controller also what? Use the throws declaration, right? Because that is a checked exception, right? Exactly. Guys, why you are throwing, I'll tell you. Because this is checked exception, right? This checked exception means we must throws to the caller method. This is the controller, right? This is the caller method I'm throwing, right? Exactly. Guys, that's all, guys. So what we done, you got the book object, With that book object, I'm checking that any book is existed or not. If it is present, throw this exception, duplicate book exception. To throw this exception, first you create the exception, right? This is the create the exception, right? That is the point, guys. Okay, so clear? So let me run up to this code here. So let me refresh, already refresh, no problem. Guys, come to application, just you can click on refresh. Application refresh, click on add book. Guys, 1001 I'm going to add here. So I'm writing ABC, I'm writing ABCDEF, something like this, right? Guys, click on the save book. If everything is going good, it should throw the exception. Which exception, guys, here? Duplicate book exception, right? Exactly. Okay, simply can run this code. See, exactly what we expected, right? See, guys, this is a duplicate. We got this message, right? This is a message, guys. Duplicate book exception. Hi RATAN sir, book already present. Check once. Oh my god, you got the point, right? That's it, guys. Guys, clear? I think you got the point or not? There's 1002. 1002 is already present, right? Again, we got the issue. Hi RATAN sir, book is already present. Check once, right? Exactly. Okay, this is the way how can you handle exception, right? Guys, are you clear? If already book is there, duplicate book exception you got or not? This is a duplicate book exception, right? Exactly. Guys, up to this is fine, good. We got this issue like this. But the client is getting this kind of exceptions means that not that much good, right? Yes, sir. No, client is getting duplicate book exception. Hi RATAN sir, book is already present. Check once. Like that, he is getting the message. Instead of getting this message, guys, what I will do, I clearly, I'll display this message into the what we can say view layer very clearly. Guys, up to this one is fine. When you got the duplicate book exception, this is okay, fine. But for this one also, I can do some extension here. What I will do, yes, you got the point. Yes, first you try to run a code up to this one. Once if you run the code up to this, we got the data, right? Exactly. Yes, next one, what I'm going to do here, book service class is there, fine. We got the exception, but I don't want to throw the exception like this. If already present, I want to throw the exception. Okay, while throwing exception, duplicate book exception, I want to pass the book object here. Duplicate book object, right? What the duplicate book object here? Existing book or not? Okay, let me create the constructor with the duplicate book exception. Not change the constructor, guys. You better to create the new constructor. So this is like, create the constructor with this data. Yes, yes or no? Create the constructor with what? This data, right? Exactly. Yes, after creating the constructor with the book data, book data, we create the constructor, right? Exactly. Guys, what we should do, so take one instance variable, so book object here. Why I'm taking this, you will get the clarity here. Book, let me take the book object. Okay, that's what here. Just in the book object here, book equal to existing book dot what method you can call, get method we can call it, return the book object, fine. Are you clear, right? Yeah, guys, previously we got this message now. For this one, this constructor is enough. But why I'm writing this duplicator? When you got the exception, here, throw that exception, throw new duplicate book exception with this object. Which object we got issue, that object you can throw that exception. The reason is that to handle this exception here, exception, let me create the AOP module. So aspect oriented programming, guys. What the meaning of aspect oriented programming means? So the aspect is like the separation between the data, guys. Aspect oriented programming is what? Separation between the data. Aspect oriented programming will separate the primary logics from the secondary logics. Guys, primary logic means business logic. Secondary logic means what? Exception handling logics and the logging logics and the transaction logics. It separate the data like that. That's what, guys, what I'm going to do to handle that exception. To handle that exception, project data, write the AOP model. Okay, this is like, so book controller advice. Book controller, I'm writing advice. Book controller advice, I'm writing the code. Book controller advice, click on the finish. Guys, to make this class is a, tell me guys, to make this class is a, what we can say, to make this class is a controller advice class, we need to use one annotation. What annotation, guys? At the rate controller advice is there. Controller advice. Guys, here what I'm going to do, I'm going to handle the exception handling logics I'm writing here. You got the point, right? To handle the exception handling logic, guys, you can take one method. You can take one method, public, return type is a string. Guys, this is like, duplicate book exception handling method, right? This is a method I'm going to do. Duplicate book exception handling method. To make this method is exception handling method, do go for the exception handler. Guys, here I'm going to handle which exception, tell me here. Value equal to, I'm going to handle which exception, tell me. Duplicate book exception dot class, right? I'm going to handle this exception. And even this argument also, you can make the duplicate book exception. You can make the exception. Because you got the point up? Yes. Here I can write the exception handling code. So what happened previously, we are throwing this exception. When you are throwing this exception, you are doing throws keyword, right? This throwing to the controller, right? The controller is automatically return the data to the exception handling code here, guys. The flow is done automatically. We are handling which exception? Duplicate book exception, right? In a controller advice class. We are handling exception here. What we should do here? So to this duplicate book exception, you got this object, right? When this exception rises, you got this object or not? That's what, let me write some getter method here. Get book method. See guys, I want get book method to get the book object. That's what I can write simply get book method. Automatically getter method generated or not, which returns this book object. Yes, yes or no? While creating duplicate exception object, I am passing the book object or not? That book object I need to use into the controller advice class. Guys, while raising the exception here, can you please give that book object, now? Then that book object goes to the exception class. But I want to use that book object to what class? Tell me. Controller advice. To use this book object in the controller advice, I taken the getter method. That getter method I'll call here. I'm repeating one more time. When you are throwing exception object, now which exception you are throwing? Tell me here. New duplicate book exception. New duplicate book exception, you are passing that exception object, book object. This is the book object exception rise, na? Yeah, that book object goes to the, tell me, the book object goes to the duplicate book exception. But this book object I want to use in the controller advice, right? That's what I take in the getter method, right? Now I call the getter method here. Guys, now I call what? Getter method, right? Exactly. What I will do here, I will call that getter method. How can I call the getter method? Tell me then. Guys, how can I call the getter method? The getter method is then this duplicate book exception class or not? That's what. Exception nothing but which class, guys? Duplicate book exception, right? That's what duplicate book exception, this class only. Here we have the getter method, na? That's what you can call. Exception we can write the get book method. Get book method returns which object? Tell me here. Book object, right? Guys, yes or no? Book object or not? Exactly. So while throwing exception, we are giving the duplicate book. Okay? We are giving the duplicate book, right? This is the duplicate book. That duplicate book I want to get into the while handling exception. That's what exception.get book method. This is called duplicate book or not? Guys, exception.get book. This is the exception. From here I am getting that book, right? Guys, from service layer to that book comes to the exception data. This exception where you handle, tell me. Guys, from service layer to you are giving that duplicate book to the exception class. But where you handle this exception in the controller advice. Here exception.get book. Then this is called duplicate book or not? Exactly. Service layer to exception class. Exception class to handler class. Where the exception is handled, there you got the book, right? Exactly. Okay, this book object can please add into the model object. Let me go for the model object here. Let me go for the model is there, right? Guys, can please add the data here. Model dot add attribute of, this is called book. I think you understood this is book is the what book, guys? Here what book it is? Normal book or duplicate book? Tell me, yaar, it's normal book or duplicate book? It's like duplicate book, right? Exactly. Model dot add attribute of model dot added attribute of some message you want, just you can write the message. RATAN SIR handled exception, handled duplicate book exception, duplicate what? Duplicate book exception easily, right? Exactly, like this, guys. Enough. There's a message here. Add attribute. Add attribute you can write. Fine. That is the data, guys. What I am doing here, I added some data into the duplicate model object or not. Guys, let me go for the error page. Guys, you can go for the return. Return string is there now. This is the view layer. Return error page. Error page.jsp file. Yeah, that is the information, guys. Now we understood that in the service layer we are throwing the exception with the duplicate book. Then this data goes to the exception class, duplicate book. From this exception class to where we are handling controller advice. In the controller advice I am getting that exception book, duplicate book. How we are getting the duplicate book? Exception dot what? Get book, right? Exception dot get book means you are getting a duplicate book or not. That duplicate book I am adding to the model object. That duplicate book I am adding to model object. That message I'm adding to model object. Then I'm going for error.jsp. In error.jsp, I will display this message and this duplicate book data. I hope now you got the clarity now. In error.jsp, in error page, I want display this book and this message also. Yeah, like that we'll handle the data, guys. Now let me go for the error page now. Error page.jsp file. Guys, two things. One thing is directly you throw this exception, duplicate book exception, this message. Number one. Number two, we are throwing that duplicate book exception with the book object. Okay, then that book object, duplicate book object goes to the duplicate book exception class. But we are handling this exception where? In the AOP class. Because we are handling exception in the AOP model, right? Here we handle the exception. So when we are throwing that exception, this duplicate book object comes to the exception class. From that exception class, the data going to the controller advice using this getBook method, right? Then here we handle the data. That's all. Are you clear now? That is called error page, guys. Now let me create the error page now. In error page, I'll populate this data clearly. Guys, let me write the error page now. Go for the src main resources web app, web inf, my views. Here you can go for right click here, new. I want take the I want take the others, right? Others, let me create the JSP. Okay, this is enough to understand the complete MVC project. Okay, we can put the experiences in we can put the experience, you can tell this kind of question answers, right? We get the more information. Guys, this is the data. Guys, let me add the, first of all, what we can say in the view books is there, no? There, let me copy my header part is there. Guys, I'm going to copy the header part. This is the header part I'm going to copy. Let me make this is header part because you require the bootstrap link, right? Yeah, header part is coming. Header part, this is what? Error page, right? Guys, error page, duplicate book, right? Duplicate book. That's one thing. And from the view books page, let me copy the header part also. Guys, this you can write this one in the body. This is my header part, right? Guys, after header, I'm going to display the error book here. Let me take the div tag now. Div tag here. We can write the class. You can write the container hyphen fluid. And we can write the text white, you can take better, and background we can take the success. Success means what happened here? Background success means text center. We can write the text center, right? Yeah, fine. Okay, that is the data. We can write the data is what? Text. Tell me, text center, right? Exactly. Guys, here I'm going to display the book information, right? Guys, what the data here? You can write the h1 tag. We can write the error. What the message, guys, here? Okay, duplicate book exception message. Duplicate book exception message, right? Yeah. Tell me, guys, to this page, what we added in the model object? We added the book. Which book? Duplicate book, right? The duplicate book we added. This message we added, right? Exactly. Guys, let me write the code like clearly here. First one is what? Book ISBN number. Book ISBN equal to the duplicate book, right? What we can say here, dollar expression, that book is coming na book dot what ISBN number, like this. Because you can make one break statement here, book ISBN, like this we got the book details, right? Book ISBN, next one is what? Book name, next one is what? Book, tell me here, other, and ISBN name, and we can write the other, and what we should write, tell me. Then that message is there, no? I think in the controller advice we added the message also, right? That message also, let me print here. That message, like, you know, we can write a dollar brace, we can write the message, right? Exactly. Guys, that is information enough. Let me run the code. When we run the code, when we give the duplicate book, now it is throwing just exception with message, doing the duplicate book exception, throw duplicate book exception book object. Then this duplicate book object goes to the this exception class, right? Exactly. But I need to handle this book. I need to handle this book into the controller advice. In the controller advice, to get the duplicate book, I take in the getter method. Guys, here I take in what? Getter method. I take in this getter method. Then after that, we are getting that book object. This is the duplicate book, and this is a message that you are sending to the error page, right? Now error page will be displayed. Guys, watch the video multiple times so that complete project I'm making one video by combining this everything. Just you can check it once. Guys, let me restart the project once. Yes, that is the last thing, guys. I think completely we done the project. Completely we done the project. Guys, let me open this. Once if you open this slash, we can write what? Books slash view books. Guys, we are targeting, like, you know, click here to add the new book. Guys, 1001 can please add one more time. Guys, here the name is what? Something like, you know, ABC. Guys, other, we can write the other is what? Other is like, you know, returns or something like this, right? Guys, but this is a duplicate book exception. Previously you got just that message. What message you got in the book service class? This is a message you got, right? With that exception. That is normal core Java also, you can write that kind of code, no? Yeah. Now we expected save book means, now what happened? This information goes to the duplicate book exception. From the duplicate book exception to that book goes to the controller advice. In the controller advice, we handle that exception, right? Exactly. So we expected what? Error page.jsp file, right? Guys, click on the save book. See. Oh my god, we got the error page.jsp and error duplicate book exception message. ISBN number spring Mr. Ratan. This is the duplicate book object coming or not? Message Ratan sir handled a duplicate book exception easily. That is a message you given in the handler class, right? This is the controller advice now. Here we handle exception or exception handler, right? Here we handle exception or not? Exactly, that is information, guys. But this is a background you take in the success, because duplicate book exception, right? Exception means background, you can write the success or danger. Background you can make it as a danger. Text white, yeah, text white, keep, no problem. Just you can refresh once. Guys, continue. See. Guys, that's all. So that's all we done with your project. Completely we done with the complete project about the MVC, right? Guys, in this project what we discussed, tell me. In this project we discussed about tell me, guys, we talk about what? Yeah, this is the data, guys. We talk about the AOP, controller, exception, model, service layer. So I think you got the clarity, right? How to handle exception. Guys, here I told you, right? At the controller we discussed, services we discussed, exceptions we discussed, validations we discussed, JSP view layer we discussed, and bootstrap layer we discussed. Guys, yes or no? That's what, guys. Here you can add the bootstrap also, right? Because viewbooks.jsp, what we discussed, tell me. Controller we discussed, service layer we discussed. After that we done the validations we discussed. At the rate validations, right? At the rate validations we discussed. At the rate exception handling we discussed. Exception handler we discussed. JSP view layer we discussed. And tell me, guys, controller layer, service layer, validations, exception handling, JSP view layer, and we discussed about the bootstrap layer also, right? At the rate what? Bootstrap we'll discuss, right? Yeah, JSP view layer means we discussed JSTL also, and we discussed the bootstrap also, right? Exactly, guys. Bootstrap, we discussed this all, right? Exactly, guys. That is our header part. Let me copy this header part. Let me place this header part in all the pages where we written the header part. This is all the points we discussed. Add book.jsp also, this is header part, and error book.jsp also, this is called what, header part. So this is the project what we discussed, right? Let me open this book once. Yes, let me write the slash common URL is a books, view books. See guys, controller, service, validations, exception handler, JSP view layer, bootstrap. You got the point, right? Yeah, that is called data, guys. Click here to add the book, then we adding the book, right? Exactly, guys. Book is added. Yeah, 1006. We enter the core Java. Mr. RATAN SIR we discussed. Click on save. Data saved successfully. Delete data deleted successfully. Edit data edited. So there something like this you can add. Data edited, yes, edited successfully. So duplicate book exception, let me add the 1001, something like ABC, something like this. We added some data. Click on save book. We got the duplicate book exception also. Guys, everything is clear? Yeah, guys, that's all for the your class. That's all we done with the project. All of you please like the video, comment the video, subscribe to our channel to get the more videos. Please share this Spring Boot complete MVC videos. Guys, I complete all MVC videos. Please share these all MVC videos to your friends so that they'll get some more subject, right? Exactly. Thank you guys. Bye.